What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Team Solemn Circus live video. On the left side here, we have Branded Despia going up against, on the right side, Salamangreat, or you guys know, Baguska Turbo over here. Before we dive in, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Helps channel a lot. We're on the road to 10K here, trying to hit that before the end of the year. We need your guys' help. We're going to be seeing Branded choosing to go first here with a normal summon up and a Luber, activating the effect, being able to search for any Branded spell or trap from their deck. A lot of people are now choosing not to kind of negate this if they have a negate card, especially obviously Ash. You want to say that for Branded Fusion. But a lot of times they want to save it for something better, with their imperps and stuff like that, trying to hit either one of the fusion monsters or anything else that they have. Even like during your opponent's turn, you can always use imperm on something else as well, which is important to note if they haven't obviously get Gimmick Puppet. But they're going to search for a copy of Branded opening here, so maybe already having Branded Fusion in the hand or wanting access to that Quem, or they're already having access to Branded Lost, which we're going to see Branded Fusion activate right away here. This is a very different than some of the other players play. We don't always see them search for Branded Lost off of the Branded or the Aluber here if they have the Branded Fusion, because they want to be able to actually get something else here, which we do see a copy of the Adlib in the hand. Definitely want to discard that one there so we can get a copy of Branded in red live and getting one of those, like, let's say, a summon back quite easily here. We're going to be summoning out a copy of the Quem. Then Quem can then dump us a copy of either Cartesia or the not Aluber. Cartesia, Albaz, it could be an Albion. A bunch of different options that we have. We do see the Branded in red in the hand there, so it could help us out significantly. I have a feeling we're going to try dumping the Albaz, so we can try to go for a Branded in red line, which we are going to be seeing them do. Okay, so they're not going to do that. They're going to instead dump. I feel like they're forced to, because, unless they're going to go for a Masquerade and then try to go for a Granganol. We could go even for a Quertus line. We're going to send the Cartesia here, so we're going to be using that copy of Ad Libitum to add back using the Aluber and the Ad Libitum. Then we're going to be seeing the Quem going to bring back out that copy of the Cartesia here. Unless we have the Albaz in the hand already. Using the Aluber and the copy of Ad Libitum for our... It's either going to be Masquerade or a copy of... So going for the Masquerade here. Not the best line. And unfortunately, we're going to be seeing Cartesia and, well, the Adlib. Going to be able to just bring back the body anyways here. Being the copy of the Aluber, which can be used as fusion material for the copy now of the Cartesia, so that we can leave the copy of Quem on the field. We're going to activate the copy of Cartesia, fusing itself to go for a copy of Granganol. And then Granganol can dump most likely a copy of the... I was going to say from the extra deck, but... we could always dump a copy of Albaz, or I guess we can dump the copy of Albion, which can then dump the copy of Albaz here for a cost. And then when our opponent special summons out, we can tag out with that copy of the Granganol here. But we're going to be seeing them dump instead a copy of Retribution. Are they going to try to add back the copy of... Okay. Adding back the Branded in red here. Setting the Branded in red and just passing on this. I guess I don't really want to bank on Granganol's effect to summon here. They have 5 cards in their hand now, and they have a talent as well, which is going to be quite useful in this matchup. Going to be able to take that copy of Masquerade, or, take the Quem if they don't get to summon out the Cartesia prior. We're starting off with a Circle here. Letting us search for that copy of So what's with the Gazelle? Gazelle activates, which is why I think that going for the Albaz line is a little bit more safer. So you have access to like a Mirror Jade or something like that, because we know that the like Gazelle has to activate, and normally how it activates is they get a copy of Balinks on the field, which is then your link for your Albaz. But we're going to be going for the normal summon of a Foxy, and if they know that you have this line, they kind of will play around it by maybe not going for the Gazelle. But we do see the copy of Foxy going to hit, and hits a Gazelle, a field spell alongside a Jaguar here. So having lots of options that we can choose, I feel like we probably choose the Gazelle, right? Yeah. You know, they set up instead having the Guardian Chimera line, which is going to be a pop 2, which is quite good against Salamangreat if they don't have another copy of an extender like a Weasel in the hand. And we see them search for a Foxy, which is very interesting in this scenario. We're going to be linking off for a copy of our Balinks now, and then that's going to be able to trigger the effect. To me, this would now trigger the effect of Quem. It also triggers the effect of Gazelle, and now triggers the effect of Parallel Exceed as well here. So we're going to have lots of different options. And now this is kind of playing through the Guardian Chimera, because they will be able to have multiple buys on the field and not get that pop. We're also seeing them not choose Gazelle, so maybe wanting to wait until the copy of Balinks touches the graveyard through a copy of Chimera here, because they could chain the Chimera, or they could chain Branded Red to make Chimera if they wanted to. But we're going to be banishing the copy of Granganol here, summoning out the Queritus. This is going to make it so that everything becomes 0, and then we can activate the effect of the Quem to summon back out. But they are thinking here. I feel like you have to Quem summon out the Cartesia. Like, we are taking damage through the Masquerade, but they have to find a way to deal with that Masquerade as well. But as long as they keep the Gazelle in the hand, you definitely cannot send the Balinks to the graveyard, which is the unfortunate part here. So we're going to see Quem summon out the copy of Cartesia. And we might be on to... We're going to see Brandon Red add back the Aluber, using all 3 of those, which I think there was a Mercury in the hand as well, to go for that copy of Guardian Chimera, which can then pop 1 and let us draw 2 here. And also even that Mercurier search as well. Searching for that Albion, letting us get that additional draw the follow-up turn, being quite nice, and kind of choosing what we want to send to the graveyard. And we're going to draw 2 and pop one of the parallels here, okay? And we now have 3 cards back in our hand, one of them being a custom card that we can just send whatever we want to get an additional draw as well. So we essentially have 5 cards for our following up turn, which is quite nice, alongside the copy of our Cartesia, which can use itself and, let's say, for example, the Guardian Chimera to then let us get a Granganol as well, which can dump from the extra deck, and then adding back that Cartesia in the end phase here. We do have the talent, which is going to kind of be able to solve that problem to take. I'm not even sure what they have to kind of take the Masquerade here, I believe. If they don't take Masquerade, then it's going to be like a kind of difficult battle here. You're going to let them take that Masquerade there, which is like obviously the best choice. They want to stop taking the life points they've already taken. I believe it was like, well, we have Circle, we have Foxy, we have Balinks, and we also have the Parallel Exceed 4 and 5. So we took, and then I'll see the talent. So we took 6, bringing us down to 44, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. I'll check it on when I do the life points here. But we don't have to take any more now. We're choosing to activate the Cartesia here, using 2 fusion monsters to go into a copy of Dracostapelia here. I guess we don't really want to go for that Albaz. I feel like we want to leave the Quertus on the field to go for that copy of Albaz there. But I guess I could be mistaken. I mean, did we draw into a dark? No, we did not. Okay, I was going to say. If we drew into a dark, we could have layered the Quertus onto the field. You know, we don't want to use that copy of Albion in the hand because we do want to have access to it later on. And getting that additional draw, that drawing an extra card is quite useful. We do see a Brand Fusion in the hand as well. So I guess the draw is a little bit less important, but still being able to work with most of our maximum card possible is just better than leaving, of course, the cards on the field, which can get destroyed, then discarding another card. For that copy of Albaz to go into that Mirror Jade can definitely help you out getting that, follow up. But we're going to see them go into another copy of Balinx. Then we'll go up into a Sunlight Wolf here. Then we can finally activate the copy of Gazelle. Gazelle can summon itself out. And then what's interesting about this brand deck is he actually is playing some hand traps. Which is not very common in some branded builds. But he feels that if you don't play hand traps, you can't really play in this format, which is very justifiable. I believe there's Ash and maybe Nib in the deck. I personally myself am really enjoying the talent and the droplets and stuff like that. I've been testing a Book of Eclipse as well, which is quite nice. But we're going to be seeing them add back the copy of the Ash with that Sunlight Wolf. Definitely a very impactful card in the branded matchup. Being able to hit that branded fusion is definitely huge. But we're going to be dumping a Spinny with that copy of Gazelle, which can then summon itself out. We can go right into a copy of the Mirage Dalio, which can then kind of deal with a bunch of cards here. We're going to be seeing attempt to summon out from the deck. We're going to be actually hitting that with the Dracostapelia here. But we're still going to be able to summon, or I guess bounce, by linking away into a copy of Princess. We're going into another copy of Sunlight Wolf here. Mirage Dalio going to be bouncing that copy of Dracostapelia from the deck to the extra deck here. We then have the Weasel as well, and our opponent scoops it up, realizing they know they have lost. I wonder why they didn't go for Princess there. What was the point of not going for Princess? Because Princess can now bring back out. Why do we want to go for a Weasel? I'm not too sure, to be honest, what the point of going for that Wolf was, but regardless, we see a brand tag. I feel like we should have probably, if we wouldn't have went for Dracostapelia, we would have then had the Quertus bounce to the extra deck, which means you wouldn't have triggered it anyways by that copy of Mirage Dalio, but it's a little bit of a hard matchup, and we haven't even seen a Baguska yet. That's something else that is very important in the Salad matchup. Versus when you're playing branded, there is a little bit of a struggle to play. They have a bunch of cards, and sometimes you want to just get rid of their first normal. If you just banish it right off the bat with the Mirror Jade, you can sometimes win the games, but if they have other extenders or a copy of Silent Mining alongside a copy of Gazelle, or just being able to search the Gazelle, definitely can help out a lot. Which is why we also see them playing Mirror in their deck profile as well, which I believe was featured the other day. Going to just be a quite nice card if you do get hit on that normal summon of Lady Debug. Being able to search for a card that summons itself out is quite useful, especially if it's Ghost Over, which is a very popular card in this format as well. But we are going to be seeing Branded choose to go first once again here with a copy of Branded Opening to start it off, discarding another copy of Branded Opening. I feel like whenever I draw this card, it's also what doubles as well, which is nice to see someone else doing it. But choosing to summon out that copy of Aluber here. Aluber going to be able to search. Now, most likely not adding that copy of Branded Opening to the hand with already having two used. Choosing that copy of Branded Lost finally here, which means that we do have the Branded Fusion in the hand. And I believe we also have a Droplets as well. Now, I went to the main phase for this opening because we did get hit with a Droll, and because we do have the talents in the hand, which is going to activate to look at the opponent's hand, ripping that Ash Blossom. Now it's just going to be gone. Now we have hand knowledge with the talents as well, and our Branded Fusion is going to be able to resolve quite freely here, which also gives a crazy interaction with the Droplets, because now we can choose if we want to Droplets because we know what the cards are going to be having in their hand, which is quite nice as well. We do have the Lost alongside the Branded Fusion, and now all cards are kind of known for at least us here. So we probably send the copy of Albaz alongside a Cartesia. We could also send a copy of Lubellion if we wanted to be able to search for that copy of Cartesia, but we can go for the Albion line, but it is quite difficult when you're really playing through this. When you're playing versus Salad here, there are random times where you also want to send Albaz and Albaz to go for that Lubellion, just so that you can add the Cartesia here to the hand. But like in this case, we probably don't even go for a Cartesia line at all. We definitely don't want to dump Lubellion. Like, that card does nothing for us in the graveyard here. Because we are dumping... Okay, we're dumping the Lubellion regardless. Maybe trying to go for a standard line, just not going to care. Because you can go for the Albion, then Albion can banish the Albaz alongside the Lubellion. Or I guess the Aluber here, to go for that copy of the Lubellion, which can then discard the copy of Droplets, using itself and the Albaz to go into that copy of the Mirror Jade here. And then we search with Lost. Or, we just haven't searched with Lost. Oh, we're under Droll, right. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. I completely forgot that we are under Droll, so we have to send the Lubellion to be able to get that copy of Albion in the graveyard here. Definitely kind of impactful. We're going to go end phase. Albion's going to be able to activate its effects, letting us set that copy of... Now, we can choose Retribution if we want to, because we don't have any copies of any Despias in the graveyard. And Retribution is actually a really good card, being able to stop a special summon of perhaps a Gazelle here, which I do believe they set, or they're setting a Branded in red instead. Okay, that's also an option, but being able to use that copy of Retribution in this case, which I believe would be kind of nicer, but instead we're going to be activating the effect of Mirror Jade in the end phase, dumping that copy of Titaniclad. We're going to be able to summon out that Quem, and then Quem can dump a copy of Albaz here, which can get us that copy of Branded red live. Definitely a good option as well. Retribution is going to be quite nice. With the fact that they have the talents in the hand, I don't know that Quem is going to be the perfect line, because you kind of want to be able to also have that Mirror Jade live. Dealing with their normal summon, which I believe they had a Lady Debug in the hand. If we just normal summon the Lady Debug, activated the effect of Mirror Jade, sending that copy of the of a Titaniclad or whatever to banish that copy of the Lady Debug, it would have been in a nicer scenario. And then also, if they have anything else, we can then activate Retribution to then get rid of that copy of the Mirror Jade. And if they do choose to take Mirror Jade first with the copy of Talents, then of course we have the card in the graveyard that we can choose instead. But we're going to be seeing them choose this line instead, which is going to let them kind of go Guardian Chimera lines and then not playing that at Talents until later in the turn, which is quite nice as well. But we're going to be seeing Lady Debug going to be normal summon, searching for that copy of EMP Ground Grenade, which is a nice interactional card. And they're thinking about if they want to Guardian Chimera now, which is interesting. But they're going to let that go through, going into that Link monster, Balinks number 1, which is going to then search for the field spell. And looks like they have the Meowmine, which can summon itself out. And now we're thinking. Do we Guardian Chimera this? And then make them have something else. Or make them forced to have the Balinx. Or have the Gazelle here, essentially. But it's going to be good. And if we go for a Wicked here, it kind of telepaths that we do have that Balinx in the hand. Or that copy of Gazelle. I keep saying Balinx, but that was when it was summoned. At that point, we just banish it. But the Wicked can't be destroyed by card effects. Or it can't be destroyed by battle, am I mistaken? But we're going to go for the Nightmare Griffin here, kind of forcing that. And we do it the Falco here. Saying itself, targeting the branded in red. We're going to chain the branded in red, adding back that copy of Albaz. And we can make... we can make a Draco Stapelia if we wanted to. And then summon back out that copy of Mirror Jade. But we're going to choose to go for a copy of Albion instead. Then we're going to go Albion 1, Lost 2. Draco Stapelia could have been nice, and then Quem summon back out that copy of Mirror Jade, which would then be live. But we're going to also chain the copy of so it's on summon, it's Nightmare Phoenix 1, Gazelle 2, or no, Gazelle's going to be on the new chain because we discarded it off of the Falco, okay. So it's Chainlink 1 Gazelle because they are not protected with the Lost effect, because the last thing that happened on the chain was the Nightmare Griffin destroying that copy of the branded in red, and then now we're going to be summoning out the copy of the Borreload Furious, which is going to be essentially a pop, and we also search for that copy of the Mercurier there, so having the negate and a pop as well is quite nice. And the fact that we can see the Borreload Furious going to be destroying that copy of the Albion is a very interactive, very interactive, because we will be now able to search in the end phase for a copy of Brand Fusion, or even setting that copy of Retribution or whatever we really want to. We have lots of lines that we can do here. We're going to see the Gazelle dumping that copy of Spinny, and they do still have the talents in the hand, but now all the cards are known, being the talents as well as the copy of the field spell. So if we chose the talents now to rip the Mercurier, okay. I was going to say, if we choose the talents now, then we are kind of forced to just lose to Mercurier here, but if they rip the Mercurier, that's going to be fine. I was going to say we probably should just take that copy of Borreload Furious myself, but we're going to then go for the copy of Mirage Stalio, and then Mirage Stalio can activate its effects, and I feel like at that point we should have just popped it with the Borreload Furious, but we're going to go for the Weasel instead. And we now once again have 3 bodies on the field. I'm going to link away those for that copy of Princess, or going for the Sunlight Wolf once again here. I keep thinking they're going for Princess. Then we're going to go Mirage Stalio, targeting the copy of Borreload Furious. And we definitely just chained Borreload Furious as popping that Albion alongside the Albion, alright? Or the Sunlight Wolf. Albion and Sunlight Wolf here. I'm pretty sure just a quick effect pop, right? I could be mistaken. I mean, I was summoning it with using Lubellion in my duels as well, so I can't really say very much. And we are protecting it with the Balinx, which is like why I feel we should have destroyed something else. With like the Nightmare Phoenix being able to destroy that instead, or the stopping them from getting up into the mob bodies here, which they're going to be able to go for Sunlight Wolf or going up into the Raging Phoenix, and Raging Phoenix can go for itself. And we pop the copy of Warlord Furious, which is interesting. You know, maybe hoping they have to attack into that Albion there, but they're going to be going with the copy of Weasel to give them that. Bailings to our opponent, being able to attack multiple times. Then we're going to go for the Princess. Princess tried to pop the copy of the Mirror Jade. We're going to protect it with the Branded Opening in the Graveyard. Very important that we do remember to activate that effect. And then we're going to be summoning up that copy of Raging Phoenix. And we're going to be trying to go for an OTK here. Because if we don't, we're going to be losing that copy. We're going to be losing essentially the game. They're going to attack into that Bailings, taking a shit ton of damage. 51 if I'm not mistaken, which is important because we are getting super close to the end of the game. You know, I believe there is only a minute left on the timer when we multiply it by 2, which is what we are doing. So 2 minutes left for the timer here, when they're going to be able to attack into the Albion and as well into the copy of Mirror Jade. Mirror Jade effects can activate to the graveyard, but I don't believe we're going to get that far here. We still have the Will that can activate effects to bring back out, essentially forcing our opponent not to have a turn here. And they already are down on life points, you know, having 3,000. We're going to activate the Will, and we do see the timer getting called, and that's just going to be the game 2 for Salamangreat. 2-0ing Branded there. I feel like that we would have had the game there if we would have played a little bit correctly or a little bit faster if it wasn't for time. But unfortunately, time is a factor in the game. So regardless, hope you're watching the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, see more content like this. Don't forget to stay safe. Peace.